You can tell that Hollywood's absolutely cooked when it looks like neither the Fantastic Four nor Superman are going to make their money back at the box office. However, Warner Brothers wants to celebrate Superman doing $500 million, which is still at least $200 to $300 million off breaking even, and yet a load of people online want to gaslight you that it's doing great, it's doing fine, it's better than a Man of Steel. Why are people still hung up on a 12-year-old movie that probably Superman's not even going to surpass at the box office either? Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. As July draws to a close, we now have the results, by the looks of it, of who won the battle between the Dinosaurs, the Supermens, or the Fantastic Fours. And as we all predicted months and months ago, yeah, it was actually easily the Dinosaurs. Releasing a week before Superman, it's currently taken nearly $720 million at the worldwide box office, while Superman has just gone over the 500 million mark after taking a drop of 57% from its previous week. And Fantastic Four took in just over $216.5 million worldwide on its opening weekend, which was lower than Superman, lower than the Dinosaurs, and about what was predicted for it, which seems to indicate that Fantastic Four is going to end bottom of what I can only describe as a shit heap of movies. Whether you're a fan of Superman, Marvel movies, or dinosaurs wrecking stuff, I don't think we can say that any of us came out on top in the month of July. And whereas I thought the Fantastic Four was the best of a bad bunch, it only clocked a 6.5 out of 10 from me. I thought it was making moves in the right direction. But did it blow me away? Did it get me really interested for what was coming up next? No. Why? Because we know what's coming up next. It's going to be more Marvel slop with Doomsday, where they're cramming in every single character that they possibly can. There's going to be no character building whatsoever. It's just going to be one-liners left, right, and center, explosions, splurgs, CGI nonsense. Nobody can get excited about that unless you are brain dead. And because this is a video on the internet, there's unfortunately a lot of those people around. But let's just jump back to Superman for a moment, because that's where the insanity of Cope is really lying right now. Because before the movie even released, Warner Brother execs said that they were hoping that Superman would make over $500 million worldwide, which is an utterly bizarre thing to say, because even using their own bullshit numbers, they're claiming that the production budget is $225 million. They're claiming that the marketing budget is $100 million. Sure, Jan. So even with their own numbers, the film would have to hit $650 million at the box office to break even. And $500 million is $150 million off that. So why on earth would you say we would be fine with the first movie in our brand new franchise going forward with one of our biggest hero names in the history of planet Earth making a loss of $150 million with movies like Supergirl, Clayface, and Wonder Woman to come? How do you think those movies would fare when your flagship guy can't even make a buck at the box office? So we know that this is absolute bullshit, but we also know that their numbers are bullshit, because it's not just as simple as that. You've got the international marketplace to consider, which doesn't do a 50-50 cut with the studios. And on top of that, those numbers that were given, 225 production, and 100 marketing are very likely bullshit anyway. And it has to hit somewhere in the region of 800 million to break even. But bizarre things to say. But you go on the internet today, and accounts will be going, Superman's hit 500 million at the box office. Warner Brothers consider this a success. I don't know who you're trying to gaslight. I really don't. Is it the investors? Is it them who you're trying to gaslight? Because ultimately, you can lie as much as you want. It's not going to make the movie any more profitable. Then you've got the battleground between the Gunn Bros and the Snyder Bros, as if anyone really gives a shit. Human bad take machine Joe Russo, somebody who only gets attention because they think he's related to the Russo brothers, spoiler alert, he's not at all, came out with this tweet yesterday. Snyder Bros, after learning James Gunn's Superman beat both Man of Steel and Fantastic Four. Well, first and foremost, even if it does that still make it profitable? The likelihood is no. But let's just have a look, shall we, at Man of Steel's numbers versus Superman's numbers. Because if I was the Gunn Bros side of this equation, I'd be a little bit worried right now. Man of Steel came out in 2013. That's 12 years ago. And it took $668 million at the box office. Never mind the fact that inflation has happened and that 668 is now worth 930. Don't worry about that. Never mind about the fact that the ticket sales, the price, the cost of a ticket was less, so many more tickets were actually sold. Again, we're dismissing all of that. We are literally just looking at the 668 million number. If we were to compare it with Superman right now, which sits at 502.7 million worldwide, so it still needs another 160 odd million to even reach that number. What I need to draw your attention to is the law of diminishing returns on its box office take. Because the way things are going, even if it was to follow the same route of about 50% drop off, next week, domestically, it would bring in 43 million. Then you add the international, let's take that to 75 million. So that would take it to 575 million, give or take. And then the week after, it would half again. So that 575 will become 610. And then we halve it again the week after. That 610 becomes 625-ish, give or take. The law of diminishing returns, the way that it's actually tracking right now, this might not even hit Man of Steel numbers from 12 years ago. So why people are celebrating all of this nonsense? Because ultimately it is nonsense. It doesn't matter how it does against Man of Steel. It doesn't matter about how much it does against the Dinosaurs and how much it does against Fantastic Four. What matters is the film profitable? What matters is there an audience going forward for the DCU? That's what matters. And right now, I don't think it's looking too rosy. So let's now jump to the Fantastic Four. The budget for this film has been pretty hush-hush, but it looks to be somewhere in the region of $200 odd million. Let's add on another 100 million for marketing, being very generous here, playing loosey-goosey with the numbers. It means it still has to hit an absolute minimum of $600 million at the box office simply to break even. And judging by its opening weekend worldwide, 217 odd million dollars, I don't think it's going to have those legs either. And so it's another big L for Marvel. And since Infinity War, It looks like, Endgame, the only big W that Marvel have taken is Deadpool and Wolverine. Because even Spider-Man No Way Home was a Sony entity, and Marvel only got 25% of that take. Now, I guess you could probably add in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, as that did make a profit, ironically, of course, being a James Gunn movie. But other films like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor, Love and Thunder actually had much larger production budgets than initially given out. Funny how that works, isn't it? And ultimately, those films didn't make a profit. Like Chung-Chi, Simulu. Where's your sequel, buddy? Still waiting on that sequel. Yeah? Any day now? TikTok? Oh. Which just goes to prove, kids, that you can follow your dreams and success will happen. So as much as this pains me to do, I have to do it, and we all knew that this was going to happen. We got to give the flowers to Jurassic Park 7, aka Jurassic World Rebirth, which is currently standing at around about $720 million worldwide. Budget, approximately $180 million. Double it, 360. Add on another 100 for marketing. Double it, 560. Playing loosey-goosey with numbers again. Let's just say this movie had to hit about 600 million again to break even. Ladies and gentlemen, it's made profit. It looks like Jurassic World Rebirth is already a profitable movie. Unlike Superman, and most likely unlike the Fantastic Four either. So ultimately, did any of us really win in July? Now, where some people will say, well, I actually liked the dinosaur flick, or I liked Superman or the Fantastic Four. Look, more power to you, but I'm going to present this to you instead. The Fantastic Four, the third reboot in approximately 20 years. Superman, the third reboot in approximately 20 years. Jurassic Park 7. Smurfs. How many times have we had a Smurfs movie? I know what you did last summer. They couldn't even be fucking bothered to change the name or even play with it for this rebirth, reimagining, fucking abortion. How to Train Your Dragon. Live action of an animated movie. Everything is rehashed, repurposed, stuck back up there. There's very little stuff which is new. And you scroll down, you've even got more. Lilo and Stitch, live action of an animation. 28 years later, the third part in the first part of a new trilogy of movies from 20 years ago. Mission Impossible, Final Dead Reckoning, part 85,000. Cinema isn't healthy right now at all. So by all means, make your bullshit tweets, pick your tribe, it doesn't matter. None of us are winning right now at all, whether you like it or not. We are stuck in a rut. We're in a rut at the very best of mediocrity. And if you think that's acceptable, then I guess we all deserve what we get. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Goodbye, Blue Boo.